All right, so I'm going to cover two things: the view adjustment in iRacing and how to set the force feedback. So we'll do the force feedback first. In this case, I'm in a practice session. I've already driven out of the pits. I'm going to verify a couple things by holding the escape button. I'm going to click options, and I just want to make sure the intensity is set to the correct level. With this wheelbase, I personally run about 85, but with the R12, you're going to want to run this at 100. So that's where it should be at. And you want to make sure that auto is checked, which it should be. So after that, you can click done, and it looks like I'm out in the pits again. So I'm going to test. I want to be in the graphics adjustment menu of the black box. So how to do that is on your wheel, it's either the left or the right controls the black box. So you basically just scroll through all the settings until you get to graphics adjustments, which I know is a little misleading, but at the very bottom you'll see this force feedback. So we just want to be able to see it, that's all. So I'm going to go drive now, and essentially what's happening is I want to wait for auto to appear right here, and after that I'll show you what to do. So now if you can see, auto has appeared. This, when you're in your iRacing buttons, I'm not sure if you could see it in the video, but on your iRacing buttons you'll see a button that says auto force feedback. So I'm going to press that, and now my value has changed from 58 to 41. So the lower is actually going to feel, you're going to actually feel more. Might be a little misleading there, but that's a good base point. And it'll let you do it over and over again. You can kind of fine tune it, but just doing a couple laps gets you a good base point. Also down the road, if you become more and more familiar with the car, you're driving it a little differently, iRacing picks up on that. You can hit the auto force feedback at really any point in the race, whether you're on the graphics adjustment black box or not, and make that change. But for the most part, it should be pretty close. So now I'll show you how to save it. Okay, so if you make this force feedback adjustment and you don't save it, then this force feedback adjustment will be for every car. And unfortunately, that's just not how iRacing works. Every force feedback for every car is going to be a little different. So once you save it, it'll be good. You won't have to go back. But any new car, you do want to do this process. So this is an LMP car. I have a little bit of time on it, but the force feedback was definitely wrong. So now I'm going to show you how to save it. You're going to hold escape. You're going to click options, and you're going to scroll down to the bottom here that says use custom controls for this car. You're going to check mark it and click done. So now anytime you're in this car, that force feedback is saved. And if something accidentally gets changed, you hit a wrong button, it's no big deal. You just run the same process again. You can even do it during practice or qualifying, whatever it may be. So now back to the view change. Since I'm in the pits, I'm just going to drive for a few seconds here. We want to get into that replay mode. So that should be good. So again, I will hold escape. And then you do want to pause it. I know pause is hidden by the dash. It's down there in the middle. You should already be in the cockpit view. And then on your Stream Deck button box, you're going to hit that small button on the left that says view adjustment. And I put parentheses replay mode just as a reminder. So I'll hit that. This brings up all the adjustments, a lot of things going on, but essentially you just have to worry about this X adjustment. That's your seat forward, seat back. Your Z adjustment is your height up and down, and your P is your pitch, so basically your head angle. Y would be left and right, should already be centered, and everything else you don't have to mess with. If you find that your increments are too big, I ran into this issue before where if I made, say, a seat adjustment up and down, it would go way too high or way too low. At the very bottom, you'll see a key step factor. You can change that to say 0.1 is usually about right. You shouldn't have the issue, but just in case, I kind of ran into it randomly, not sure how it happened, so that was how to fix it. After I've made this adjustment, the key thing is you want to save it. So you're going to go to the bottom, it says Save Car. You can click Save. It should already be highlighted here, car.cam says right there. You click Save, it's going to ask you to overwrite. Yes, you do. And that's done. So that's kind of like a basic new car setup, is your view and your force feedback, and you're essentially ready to go racing.